Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Julie with Bookshelf by Julie. Today is Sip and Craft and we're going to make a start. Now, it may not get completely started, but we're going to make a start on making a cover for a needlebook. Just a little cover, right? I started out with a piece like this. And then I put my fabrics on here, and I'm going to go through the whole process, so don't worry. It's going to be easy. I promised. And I'm going to keep it easy. But today we're going to start applying the knowledge that we've learned. That is the highest part of learning, is to apply what you've learned. And then you've got it, you've practiced it, you get really good at it, right? If you apply your knowledge, okay? So, so yeah, I started with this one. I just got some scraps, got some fabrics, got my pieces that I thought I might want to use, and I put them together. I've done a few stitches on this one just to give you an example of what we're going to be doing, okay? Now, whatever fabrics you have, just use what you have, okay? Or what you can find or whatever. These are things I've had in my stash for I don't know, 20 years? I don't know, that long, at least. So I did some stitching around here, blanket stitch, stem stitch around here. I did French knots here, and then that was the split stitch here, and the back stitch up here. Just mixing it up a little, you know. Now this is just one of the little panels on a piece of fabric. I just cut around it, stuck it on here, and did some stuff. The rest of them are just pieces that I thought might go together really well. I used a lot of neutrals with a little pop of color in places. Now I did go ahead and put a little chain flower there. It's cute, right? A little chain stitch. Yeah. Okay, anyways, so that's what we're going to start today. I'm going to try to keep a little bit ahead on this one so that you'll see what we're going to be doing in the videos that we're doing, right? Okay, so I've got my heat mat out, and my little heat thingy has told me that it's warm enough now to do its job, so I'm going to press that down. I always like to start with the fabric straight, you know, not wrinkly or anything. That's just me. You do what you do. So I'm going to use a very light heat and bond to do this, but I have been experimenting with this glue stick for a fabric, and it actually works pretty good. I used it for this. Now it'll tack stuff down and it'll hold, right? And it dries clear. You can't hardly see it. You can kind of tell it's there, but you can't hardly see it. So it could be good for edges if you're going to not do raw. All of this is raw edge. We may get into later on, I don't want to panic anybody, but we may later on start turning some of those edges down and sewing them down. With the edges turned over, like so. But right now we're just doing raw edge, okay? So that's what we're doing. My focal point on this one, it was the duck. On this one, I'm going to cut this one out. And we're going to put her on, and then everything else will go around her. That's Peter Rabbit's mummy. So, get my fabric scissors, right? They're just scissors I don't use for anything else, but fabric. And if you're just tiptoeing into the world of fabric, you need a pair of scissors that are sharp. They don't have to be fancy, but don't use them for paper because that'll dull them up to where when you're trying to cut on fabric, it really mucks it up. So just, you know, I'm just going to pick this piece here because that's the only one of these particular ones that I have that's not chopped off. When they cut the fabric, you know, they cut it per whatever, and yeah, so I'm just going to cut this one out. So yeah, just find your fabrics and get the ones you want. rip them, cut them, whatever. On this particular one, I have to cut because it's in an oval. And yeah. So I'm just going to gently cut around it. And the rest of them I have ripped because I like the frayed edge. If I'm going to do a raw edge, you may as well have a little bit of decorative there because, you know, you may as well. Cutting circles is always a challenge, but it's doable. It's got a good line there to go by. So there's a lot of things you can do with this when you've got an image on fabric, and we're going to get into later on, not right now, printing on fabric and then embroidering on that. I did that with a recent journal cover that I was working on for the Vintage Playtime. I did that, and it was so nice. It was so fun. It took a little while. It did. I'm not going to lie. It's called slow stitching. It's called embroidery, hand stitching. It takes longer than if you're doing something with a machine or if you're doing it out of paper. It just does. So yeah, if you've got a print fabric that's like this and you've got something cutesy on it that you want to just take this piece or that piece, then, you know, go ahead and trim around it and get it right out of there. And that works, right? So I'm going to put this to the side because I'm done with that one now. Okay, so again, we want to have it where it's flat, not all crunkly up. Yeah? Okay. That's going to be adorable for a cover of a needlebook, I think. Okay, so like on this one, I want it to have it, you know, kind of centered. Now I'm going to lay it out before I put the stuff on there. Or maybe I should put the stuff on there and then lay it out, and then we'll do it that way. Okay. I'm going to use my heat and bond because it won't get... Now, I didn't cut it to the edges, okay? I've got edges all around, and I'm leaving those edges out there because I'm going to more or less probably either by hand or with the machine go all the way around it when I'm finished, but not until then. And then, you know, put whatever trim or whatever you want to put on the edges. But right now, I'm not doing it all the way to the edges. It's going to be 1/4 inch-ish kind of thing, right? Okay, so I'm going to just put this down, and on the other side it's sticky too, so, but it's not until you take this off and heat it up, okay? So this is a very lightweight. This isn't like the one I used before that's a little bit thickish and stuff. I wanted something very substantial when I was doing the little samplers that we were making. So this one is a very lightweight heat and bond, and it will hold. I mean, it will, some of it might wiggle a little loose, and that's okay, but it will hold pretty good. I'm going to let that cool just a second or two, and then we'll peel that off. It doesn't take much to stick it down. It's a lightweight one. So, yeah. We'll see if we're stuck and if it's ready. Yes, you can tell there's a little bit of a shine to it where you've got this, which is, that's the sticky, right? That's the sticky, and you want that there, you know. So, and you want to cover up all of that because you don't want this to get on your iron plate, right? Because that would be awkward. Okay, now we're ready to do this. Okay, I need to make sure I know where my fold's gonna be. So if you're doing this, oh, I guess I could give you a measurement if you want to do it this size. I mean, you know, do whatever size you've got, right? I just wanted mine to be this size, so I think it's 5.5, or I'll measure it and see. Now we know where the fold will be, okay? Okay, for the long part, now you have to double what you want it to be. That's about 9, which makes it 4.5 on the width for the book, okay? And on here, yep, 5.5. So it's 5.5 by 4.5 when you've got it folded up, okay? So that's just the size. I just wanted a small one. I didn't want anything really, really big. We're just doing some fun, simple project to apply our knowledge, okay? So I'm going to try to center this like so. That's Mrs. Rabbit. Okay, so I've got some pieces over here that are just already ripped. I just tore them. I know you're there. Okay. And I just, like I said, I picked some neutrals. They're really pretty, but I wanted a pop of color. See, this goes really well with the colors that are in here. So it's a good, I don't know, I just wanted something to go with that. I may not use all of this, but I've got plenty of things that I can use. I just have to remind myself, I've already put my sticky down, so don't iron anything on top of this, right? Okay, so let's see. We've got, let's see. I'm looking for the bestest flower piece. Like maybe this here, right? And this was actually a bit of fabric that was left over, and I don't think I have any more. I don't even think they make it anymore. It's a thing. Okay, I may put this like right up and under here. It's just stuff that was left over from days gone by. You won't be able to see much of that, so I don't think I'm going to put it there. I will put something like this up there, which is pretty, but it's very, very neutral. Right? Like that. Get off of me. Okay, and maybe something like this down here. Again, very neutral, but you can see it. And it makes sure everything just kind of pop up there. Where's that little piece? This one might go here. Just a little something there to be peeping out, maybe. Just a little something. Okay. Now, the other side. On the other side, you really do want to watch where your fold is. I'm butting these up against each other and maybe a little bit of an overlap because of, right? That's not my fold. This is my fold. You don't want anything to begin and end right here on your fold, okay? Okay, let's put this one here, like so. Down a little. I hope I'm staying in shot. Yes, okay. So I'm just playing with the idea here that I want everything over the fold. That's there. Okay, let's find some more pieces here. Okay, I want something here, but not a big something. So it's going to be some of this. Let me get a piece of it. Not a big piece, just a little piece. Okay. All right. Just a little something right up there. Just to give it that patchwork look, right? Okay. I think I want to put this here because I don't want it over here, right? Okay. Let me move it down just a touch. Move that up just a touch. Okay. Now this can go here. You don't have to be precise with anything. It's just simply putting things down and seeing what works, what catches your eye, you know? What will work where? Let's see. I've got a piece of this left that I could put up here. Like so, but not here. So here, everything is there. So do I want to put this leftover piece there? I don't really. So let's see. Oh, I know. Let's put this there. It's just a little piece left over. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. That works perfect. Okay, ish, guys, ish. Okay, so now we've got it laid out. Let me put these to the side. These are just some fabrics that I ripped those from. No big deal. Whatever's in your stash or whatever you can find, okay? Just use what's around because we're using just bits and pieces. Let me put that over there. I'm safeguarding it now. I'll be hoarding that little piece. I will. Okay, now we got to make sure that this is flat. I just moved that. Okay, it's all right. We got to just make sure this is flat. And there may be places where I have to put, especially with this because I've got things tucked up and under her. So I may have to put some more little pieces of heat and bond under that. But that's, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Just saying. Okay, let me turn this back on. It only stays on for a few minutes. If you don't use it, it'll, you know. Now you can use pins for this, or you can just gently go around and tack it down with light heat, or whatever your heat and bond says to do. And then you can go back and give it some pressure. Okay? Because at first, you just want it to be still, right? You just want it to be still. You can use pins. You can use the running stitch. The running stitch is really handy for something like this because it's not bulky and you know, it'll just flatten out with the fabric really. Okay. All right, we are stuck down. Now let's see where we have to put some more. I knew we would have to put some here. We might have to put some under here because there was just a little spot in there. Okay, there and there. I've got some pieces. I do, I save them. When you cut it, you can always save your little pieces and then just kind of stick them under there. Just don't let this get on your, you know, don't let it get on your iron. I'm going to put these away before I forget and use them for something I don't need to use them for. Okay, I just want a little bitty bit under there, so to about there. Just a little bit, right? Okay, and then I'll peel that off in a minute. Like that. Okay, so I don't forget, I'm going to go ahead and stick it down because I am a professional at forgetting. I am, I know how to do that. So yeah, we're just going to lift this up and peel the paper backing off with our Cricut picker. That's what we're going to use to get this off. Okay. Yep. It just has to detach. Once it detaches, it's super simple. Okay. Just give that a little bit of press and it is stuck down. Okay. Like I said, we're making a start, right? Okay, on this side, we're going to also put some there. Ooh, we want to put it not at that angle. We want to put it, okay. We want to put it, cut a little bit of that off. And then we want to put it here. I'm mostly doing this to protect my iron plate because this stuff gets on your iron plate. It is really, really hard. It's not impossible to get it off, okay? But it is not easy to get it off either. So I'm just saying, it is not easy. This is experience speaking. Just saying. Okay, let's do some down here. Yeah, even the lightweight is not easy to get off after it's on there. And you want that to stay clean. I hope I didn't glare all over the place. I wasn't looking at the thing. So yeah, you want that to stay clean and not be all weird with you. Did that go down? It did not. Okay, let me give it another pressing. I'm gonna let it cool a minute because that is pretty hot. Okay, so any place else that I need to, that's okay. Just here. Let me put some here. Okay. I could draw with the pencil around it and see. I don't want to draw it right up to there, but getting a good, that'll do. That'll do. Let me cut this out and put that on there. Again, you want it underneath the fabric. Don't let it get out. Okay. But yeah, these scrap pieces are perfect for... Now, there is a way to tell. This is slicky and shiny, and this is just paper. So you can tell where... what goes what way, okay? And you need to know, really. You need to know, okay? You need to know. All right, let's go take this one. What am I doing? Fumble fingers today. Okay, let's get this off of here now because it should be ready to peel back. And it's not as hot, so that should be fine. Yay! Okay. And I put one over here too, didn't I? Yes, I sure did. This will hold it down. And if you're using this, like if you're making a big project, it's totally washable and all that stuff. So, you know, whatever you can do with fabric, this doesn't get all gunky on you and stuff. Some stuff will get gunky on you. It just does. So, just saying. Okay, now, there's that. Let's peel this one off. Don't help my fumble fingers. Okay, peel that one off. Yay. And get that stuck down. Again, with mine, I know the thing says what it says, but I always use it on the high setting, like for cotton fabrics, because you get a better stick that way, just saying. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna do it this way and trim off that. And that. Yep. I still have a bit up there, but hey ho. We'll see what we need. We'll see. If you get really into this and you love doing it, one thing you can do is buy it by the roll. That's what I do. I buy a big roll of it. It's actually, whoops, wait a minute. It's actually a little cheaper. It costs more at the beginning because, you know, you're buying a big roll. But it's cheaper in the long run to do that. So, just saying. Okay, now we'll see. All right, let's just peel this back slowly. Okay. Get that straight. Okay. And then we'll give it a good pressing. I think that'll be fine. Unless I've got something that's just obvious that, you know, I may have a little tip up here that I can put something under. If I scoot this in there. Yeah. Let me see. I can trim this off and get rid of some of this on the sides because that's too much. Okay, get up there. Yeah, I think that'll do. Because we are going to be sewing it down. We just want it to be still while we're doing that, right? Don't want it wiggling on you too much. I mean, it's fabric, it's going to move, but, you know, we just want to have it be still. Now, you can use that, this, and I may use it if I find something that's loose and just annoying me. I may use this. It does dry clear, and it looks fine. So, yeah. It's fine. I guess old ways, you know, you get used to doing things a certain way and it works. If it works, that's important, you know. Okay, now I think we've got it. We've got it. And it's going to fold here, like so. Gonna be adorable, really. And that's going to be our back. Now, each square, the reason I did this in, well, somewhat squares or rectangles or, you know, this. Each square is going to have something on it. Something that we've learned how to do, and we're going to use it in a different way, a creative way. So that, you know, like making this little chain petal flower here with a French knot. Nothing wrong with that. We're going to do, each square is going to have something pretty in it. This one may just have running stitches. You can do them in spirals, you can do them in squares, but, you know, it won't cover too much of the pretty there. But these, we can put flowers, we can put some sort of design. We've got that freebie sheet, and we can put something like that on there. So, just saying, we've got lots and lots and lots, and we've learned lots. Remember, we've got our primers here. We did these. We know all these things. So now we're going to take these things, and we're going to put them on these things. Yeah? I'm going to do a few things on this one off camera, and then we'll come back next week and we'll make some maybe designs for here and here. We're not going to go fast. We're going to go slow and steady. We're going to have fun. We're going to sip our tea before we forget to. And we're going to make this absolutely beautiful. What I'm going to do, probably one of the first things that we'll do on this one, if you want to get a head start on me, I mean, you know, if you do, that running stitch all the way around, we'll kind of put our edges down all the way. Don't get too close to the edge though. Take a step back. This is about 1/2 inch, more than 1/4 inch, but about 1/2 inch off of the edge. So if you want to do the running stitch, because that's what we're going to start out with next week, is that running stitch. Or just get your pieces together and then we'll do the running stitch together. And maybe 1 or 2 of those blocks, because it's just going to be so much fun. But I don't want it to get too long or to be overwhelming. I want it to be really super simple and easy, because that's what I want it to be. And we can do that. And it's going to be super simple and easy. It's going to be super cute. If you've got a print, if you don't have a print, just put a pretty piece there, you know, something like that. We are going to make beautiful things. I have plans. They're all in my head. Now they're coming out into real life. That's awesome. Okay. You guys do your stuff. Get your pieces together. 9 wide, 5.5 this way tall. If you want to do it the way I'm doing it. Just a reminder. Use the things you've learned. If you don't have the heat and bond, use the running stitch or pins. I mean, whatever you want to use. Just use what's available. You guys take care. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. TTFN.